Hello, everybody, and welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey, and this is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for middle Americans, where all middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter where you've been, where you go, just matters that you consider yourself a middle American and that you, I don't know, kind of love the country and are willing to I don't know, be a middle American. Understand that we have 330 million people in the United States of America, and we're all different. Every single one of us different. Even the twins and the triplets and the quadruplets and whatever the heck else comes after that, they are also all different. I've known several sets of twins in my life. My dad was a twin, and my dad and cousin Paul were totally different. So let's start with the fact that we are all different and we all have different political beliefs. Now, when we all have different political beliefs, that means that somebody's going to be on the fringe on the left and somebody's going to be on the fringe on the right. And here at this show, we try not to pay attention to the 20% of the crazies on the left or the 20% of the crazies on the right. We try to concentrate on the 60% of the people in the middle because those are the people that matter the most in our country. Now, some of those 60% are going to be on the left and some of those 60% on the right. All of the statistics indicate that in the middle means that basically it is broken down that 50% of the country is considers themselves more liberal and 50% of the country consider themselves more conservative. But there are all basic ideas that we all believe in. Most of us believe in the Constitution, taking care of ourselves and our families and taking care of our neighborhoods and being good citizens and not lying, cheating, stealing, and all that stuff. That's who this show is for. Now, with that being said, let's check in with who's making comments already. That does not help me. That's got to go away. Chat. Don Ledger, congratulations. Hey, Don, hope you're doing all right tonight. Just want to say congratulations. You won the gold medal in the Mickey in the Middle Chat Olympics. So congratulations, Don. There you go. So what I did is I'm going to be scrolling this. We've got really, really bad weather in central Arkansas today. So praying for everybody that's affected by these storms that are going across Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi later, up into Ohio and that region of the country. So we'll be praying for everybody. That's first thing. Second of all, if the tornado alarms go off, I'm shutting down the show and I'm going to go get in a knife safe place. Maybe underneath this desk. I don't know, but I got to if the tornado sirens go off. But everything was south of here, so I should be okay. With that being said, let's do the front of the show so we can get to the rest of the show. Here we go. All right, so we're going to do this really, really quick. This right here is the Constitution. This right here is the debt clock. We're still at 36 trillion six. This right here is world population. There are 8 billion people on the planet. And this right here talks about what happened in the last 24 hours with Elon Musk putting so much money into Wisconsin Supreme Court. The battle. Let me tell you something right now. I am so unbelievably proud. I'm so unbelievably proud of Americans because democracy, we live in a republic, right? So we live in a constitutional republic. However, local elections and elections on the local level are very, very democratic. 51% wins in all of those, right? So for your judges, for your governor, for your state senators, they all win. It's all 51%. When you send somebody to Congress and be a representative or to be a senator, that is also straight up democracy. That is 51% of the people that vote win. So if you don't vote, you don't get a voice in who is going to be your elected officials. With that being said, in 2020, this is why I'm proud of America. This is why I'm very, very proud of America. Hear me now, but believe me later, this is why I'm proud of America. The Democrats outspent Donald Trump in 2020, and yet Donald Trump won. I'm proud of America for not buying into the overwhelming theory that money wins elections. Money doesn't win elections. messages win elections. So people like Trump's message. So Trump ended up winning. Now, you have to have money so the people can hear you. But at one point or another, the money becomes moot. Everybody hears the point that's going to vote, or they get talk friends and they vote. So what happened in Wisconsin? Let's go back to that screen right there. Trump advocated for the Republican candidate going onto the Supreme Court in Wisconsin. Elon Musk took that a step further, and he spent millions of dollars. I don't know how much. It doesn't really matter how much. It does not matter how much. He spent millions and millions of dollars in order to get a Supreme Court member elected that was favorable to conservatives, otherwise known as a Republican. But the people of Wisconsin didn't buy it. They flooded the market with a whole bunch of money, and Trump and Musk, Trump did not spend money, but he tried to carry influence. Musk spent money by starting a PAC and donating advertisement and using his free speech rights, according to Citizens United, which was a Supreme Court decision that was made a long time ago that said that corporations can spend money in political elections as long as those people in those corporations are not colluding with the candidates. So they're not putting money into the candidate directly, they're putting money into the candidate indirectly, and that's what Musk was doing. With that being said, the people of Wisconsin decided to not go with where the majority of the money was that came from Musk. It was the most expensive state level Supreme Court monies, the money that they spent on the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin was the most in history. And the most money, I believe, I might be wrong on this, I did not research this, was probably spent by the conservatives. With that being said, the conservative didn't win, and that means that the liberal or the more progressive candidate won, and now she is going to be a member of the Supreme Court up in Wisconsin. Why does this matter? Everybody was saying that they're going to gerrymander the congressional districts in Wisconsin, get rid of a Republican held district, and replace it with two different Democrat congresspeople. So they're going to get rid of, if the vote goes the way that gerrymandering normally goes, and gerrymandering is legal, by the way. It's up to every single state to determine where their districts are going to be, because you have to draw little circles around 750,000 people at a time, and that becomes a congressional district, and then that congressional district elects a congressperson, and that congressperson goes to Congress. So if you get rid of one Republican, re-gerrymander the state, and get two and fit in two Democrats, that is significant. That's why it was an important thing. But the money did not matter. The people made their decision, and now that place went to a Democrat person. So I'm very, very proud of America that they did not just go with the money, and that the message was, hey, look here, you have a choice between two candidates. Vote for the person that you think is most worthy. And they did that. Just like they did it for Trump in 2020. The Democrats outspent Trump in 2020, or excuse me, in 2020 they outspent, or 2016 they outspent Trump, and then in 2024 they outspent Trump. And he still got elected. So I'm proud of you, America, not following that. Now, why are we here tonight? We're here tonight because the simple fact is I made a Facebook post about a week ago, and it basically said, hey, why do we have all the hate for Elon Musk? Elon Musk donated like $4 billion to charitable causes a few years ago, and it made a lot of news. And because it made a lot of news, Elon Musk was a hero of the left. And because he's a hero of the left for many, many reasons, primarily because of Tesla and the electric car. Now, when Musk became associated with Tesla, he did not invent the company Tesla. What he did is they did not have a car. He figured out a way to make the car, and then he figured out a way to get enough funding and enough loans in order to make it a viable company. And then they became the largest electric car company in the world, and it's not even close. Number two is in China, and they sell one car for every 10 cars that Musk sells. So Musk is far and away the leader in electronic vehicle technology. And so he was a hero of the left. And then after what they call an awakening, he became associated with Donald Trump and then spent $250 million to get Trump elected. So I put in my post, hey, why all the hate for Elon Musk? He's done a lot of great things for the country. First of all, he started Tesla. Well, first he started PayPal. I didn't put that in there. But he donated this money to charity. He started Tesla. He started the nationwide charging stations that allowed an electric vehicle go from coast to coast. That is a significant individual company's effort in order to make the world a better place. So yes, he got some tax breaks and he took out loans in order to do that. And he took out low interest rate loans in order to do that. I got to caveat a lot about what I'm saying because when I posted what I posted, I got a lot of responses back from both the left and the right. People personally texted me and was like, hey, man, what's up with your love for Elon Musk in this moment? And my response is, hey, maybe everybody is misinterpreting all this. And because everybody's misinterpreting this, maybe I can bring a little light to both sides. So that's why tonight's show is called Trump and Musk, the love and the hate. So let's go and get into this. All right. So I made a bunch of notes and we're going to get into the Facebook part first. So I put out there, and I would like to tell everybody that I try to use original information whenever I look something up. So if somebody tells me something, I just don't take their word for it. I try to go to the original source material. That's how I ended up watching the entire Trump, all of the congressional testimony in the Trump impeachment. I did. I watched every single minute of it. It was crazy. Well, I don't know whether I watched every single minute of it, but I had to watch at least 95, 99% of it. I mean, it was crazy. I also try to find documents. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I try to find all of the stuff that is actually the real deal. I don't want to have a reporter tell me what I should think about a subject. I want to know what the actual subject is, what was said, how it was said, why it was said, and I want to draw my own conclusions. That's why I'm in the middle, because I'm telling you right now, nothing's as bad as it seems. Trump is not ending the world. Trump's not ending the world, but Trump is doing some stuff to shake the world up. And here's what the thing is, love him or hate him, it is a significant change that our country is going through. So I want to address why my post the other day I put on there, and I'm not going to get into specific names. Why does everybody hate Trump if he's doing all this good stuff? So the first thing was that somebody said that Trump hates Obama. Well, that might be true, but I don't know whether Trump hates Obama or whether it's just reported that way, or whether Obama hates Trump and it was also reported that way. What I do know is when Jimmy Carter died, they were in the pews at Jimmy Carter's funeral, and they both looked at each other and they talked to each other cordially. Can you really hate somebody? Or can you just go, hey, look here, I don't like their policies. I disagree with their policies. Now, Trump has said some mean things about Obama. Obama also said some bad things about Trump. Matter of fact, Obama roasted Trump at a national correspondence dinner when he said, hey, buddy, at least I've been president. You remember that? Yeah. So, and here's the thing is, it's all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games. Does Trump hate Obama? I don't know. I don't know whether he actually hates people or whether he just has this really way of coming off gritty to the public because what he says is controversial. But let's not say that he hates them. And I know that there was the whole birther certificate, and Obama is not a citizen of the United States. Here's my opinion on that. It doesn't matter. President Obama became the president of the United States with or without a valid birth certificate. It doesn't matter because he's living his best life in Hawaii and up on Martha's Vineyard, where him and his wife, Michelle, and their kids are living. And they're living their best life, doing the best thing that they possibly can, which is live the American dream. I don't really care how they got there. I don't care how you got to your spot. I don't care how other people got to their spot. I hope you don't care how I got to my spot. I just hope that I did it legally and ethically, and I'm living my best life. So let's get over the fact that people hate people. Right? Next one was there was a lot of people out there that love Donald Trump because he is shaking up the status quo. And Elon Musk is shaking up the status quo. And that is very, very true. Now, the status quo means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Sorry, my shirt got stuck. A lot of people, status quo means a lot of things to different people. USAID, United States Agency for International Development. Nobody heard of that thing when it was out there and just running. It was a federal government agency that ran about 40 or 50 billion dollars every single year. None of us ever heard of them. Now, some people have heard of them. I'm one of those people, not because I had anything to do with it, but because where I went in the world, there were several times, all the time, that I was running into these people that were not in the State Department, that were with the government, but not with the State Department and not with the CIA. And we would run into them on all of these missions that we had because I was in the Air Force for 30 years. We would run into them all over the globe because they were doing different things. And what they were doing, unbeknownst to most people, is they were running covert operations for the United States to overthrow governments. You heard me right. USAID, United States United States Agency for International Development, was running covert operations to overthrow governments. One of those governments happened to be Ukraine. Hey, whoop, whoop. People don't know that, but they did. And it's being documented. There's a guy out there named Mike Benz. You can watch The Rogan Show. You can watch Sean Ryan. You can watch anywhere that Mike Benz goes. He's got his own YouTube channel now, I think. But you can go ask him. He's an expert in the field. He's very, very knowledgeable about all the operations, how they went down. There's a whole bunch of other experts out there about USAID. And when they got rid of USAID, they were like, hey, look here, you're picking on trans people. They weren't picking on trans people when they got rid of USAID. They weren't picking on Sesame Street in Iran. Or Iraq, or wherever the hell the Sesame Street was. They weren't picking on gay and lesbian operas in South America. What they were doing is they were getting rid of the agency that overthrows other governments. So when you go in and you shake up the can and you go, hey, look here, this agency over here that looks like it's doing one thing but is actually doing another thing, can we all agree that we should not be overthrowing other governments? Now, we should have influence on them. That's why we have a State Department. That's why we have a CIA. And that's why we have tabs on all of the international relationships that we have. But let's start with USAID. Let's start next with the next thing on the list was Elon Musk was the top recipient of government contracts and tax breaks. Yes, he was. But let me explain why Elon Musk was the recipient of government contracts and tax breaks. First of all, a government contract is not somebody giving you money. The government does not do anything themselves except for special agencies like NASA. NASA is supposed to go to space for us. They're supposed to go to the moon. They're supposed to do the International Space Station. They're supposed to go to Mars. They're all about space. That is one of the few federal government offices that actually does things for themselves. But what they do is they always contract these things to other agencies like Boeing or Lockheed or Raytheon. And SpaceX. So when they do that, they're awarding government contracts, and that money goes to a business to provide a service. So when you say Elon Musk has all the government contracts for going to space, yes, because he's the only one that can get you to space. Nobody else can get you to space. And when Boeing tried it, they screwed it up. They couldn't even get the people back. Remember the 2 astronauts that went up? That was a Boeing mission. SpaceX did not take any money to develop their first rocket. They just didn't. They developed it on their own. They went and got their own funding. Elon Musk did a lot of the engineering on it himself. Even I don't even think he's a real engineer. I think he's just a fake engineer. But Elon Musk went out there and he got the loans. He got the money to build the first rocket, and he started doing the rocket. After they had been successful in the private business of launching rockets up into space and started doing things like Starlink, then all of a sudden the government looked at him and went, hey man, can you launch some stuff for NASA? Because NASA is inept. They have no more rockets that will go. Once they got rid of the space shuttle, somebody's going to have to provide airspace or airlift, airlift, whatever they're going to do. They got to take stuff up to the International Space Station. Elon Musk, you seem to have reliable rockets. Can you do that? And he was like, sure, I'll do it, but it's going to cost you some money. How much money is going to cost you? Half as much as it would if you did it yourself. So that's why they went, hey, we're going to go with Elon because it costs less than half. That's where contracts come from. So nobody gave Elon Musk anything. Doing the Tesla thing and doing the Tesla cars, they didn't have any government incentives to buy cars. There wasn't a $7,500 tax break for people that bought cars when Tesla started. There wasn't anything. He just had to go build these cars. And when he started building the cars, people went, he's a great hero, so they started buying the cars. Eventually, about 5 or 6 years later, they came up with the tax breaks so to incentivize other Americans to buy more electric cars. But Ford and GM and all those other things were so far behind. The only cars that were an option to buy were Elon Musk cars. And that didn't go to Elon Musk. That was a tax break for the people that bought the car. It just incentivized people to buy it. That money did not go to Tesla. That money went back to the people that bought the car. Hello? So there's a big difference in giving somebody money or giving somebody a loan. So if you give somebody money, that's one thing. Tesla never took anybody's money. Tesla did take some loans from the government at one time, which were paid back in full and early. Why were they paid back early? Because Elon Musk didn't want to pay the interest on them, because that's the kind of businessman that he is. So Elon Musk is not getting any free money. So let's not have any delusions. The contracts that he have is only because he's the only person in the world that can provide space lift for astronauts. If there was any other option, to go get the astronauts during the Biden administration would have paid anybody to go up and get the people in the space station. Hell, man, half the Democrats in the world would have paid out of their pockets to pay for rocket fuel to go get those people. But it didn't happen. That's why Elon Musk had to do it. Right now, Elon Musk is also contracted out to do surveys and got astronauts in the air right now going over the North and South Pole, Antarctic and the Arctic. It's crazy. So it's Elon Musk. My point is Elon Musk is not getting anything from the government. Although people go, he's the number one recipient from the government contracts. Yeah, because the government's paying him to do stuff. They got to pay somebody, and nobody else can do what he does. Now, here are the real rubs. Here are the real rubs against what Trump and Musk are doing. Are they following the law? Are they following the law? That is critically important for you to know. People are worried about Donald Trump being a dictator because he's acting like a dictator. He's got a pen. Do you remember when Obama said, I got a pen and the attitude to go and fix anything? Did President Obama say that? I don't know. Anyways, he's like, hey, if Congress won't act, I got a pen. I'll do it myself. And that's the way a lot of presidents have been operating. So when Donald Trump says this, he probably looked at his legal team and said, hey, can I do this? And they were like, sure, boss. What the hell? We'll fight it in court later. So then he signs an executive order. Well, that executive order looks like a dictator to a lot of people. Here's the reality is Congress is inept. They can't get anything substantially changed. They cannot get any substantial changes through the House and through the Senate in order to put it on the president's desk. So because they're doing that, they have taken their job and they have said, hey, look here, we're going to make all these agencies and we're going to make all these agencies do all of our stuff. The problem is that they put the administration, who is the president of the United States, in charge of all the agencies. So the president is in charge of the agencies because Congress didn't do their job. When you put the president in charge of agencies because Congress won't do a job, the president's going to do whatever the hell they want with those agencies. Let's say that they are not allowed to abolish the Department of Education. So they just go, hey, look here, we're going to restructure the Department of Education. And we're going to have an empty building with one desk in there that has a security guard. And we're going to call that person the Secretary of Education. And then that one security guard's not going to be able to do anything because we're going to take all of the money away from the Department of it. We're just going to let it sit in the Department of Education until it is reallocated by Congress to go to these other programs like Commerce or HHS or whatever else they would do that with. That's the problem with Congress being inept, with Congress not having the ability to do what they're supposed to do and leaving the president of the United States, who's in charge of the administrative functions of the United States, in charge of everything that we do. I'm not going to get into the court system. We'll get into that later because there's some shenanigans going on in the judicial branch. So people have some real cause for concern about Trump being a dictator, especially the total shit show that was firing people right out of the gate. Immediately, they went in there, were like, hey, look here, if you're on probation, you're fired. But they did something stupid. They put you're being fired because you're not doing a good job. What they should have put was you're being fired because we're eliminating your position. But they didn't do that. They had to be stupid. And then when they've sent it out to everybody that was on probation that said you were doing a bad job, then you can know in a court of law, a judge would see that and be, oh, that is suspect. Not all of these people can be doing a bad job. That was bad. We're going to suspend that. So the next step was somebody was concerned that somebody had to submit 5 bullets for all of the things that they did every single week. Now, those are 5 good bullets. But the thing is that there are 3 million employees, which means that there's 15 million comments coming into Doge. How are you supposed to review all of those? Because even if you have a computer, can you review the 15,000 for actual efficacy? And are the people really doing what they're doing? And they said, if you didn't submit this, then you were going to be fired. So did they do it just to fire people, or did they do it? Did they fire people for not following the rules, or were they doing it to see who was actually doing their job, or whether they were actually doing a good job? There's great concern in that because a lot of my friends have a lot of friends that work in the government, either in the VA or at a hospital or at the VA or at an Air Force base or an Army base or a federal installation somewhere. That's a lot of concern because it doesn't seem like Doge and Musk are putting a lot of thought in the way that they're dismantling a lot of the things in the federal government. It's terrible. It's horrible. Oh, we're at 30 minutes already. I haven't even got to the good part. I haven't even got to the good part yet. I'm just talking about the Facebook post. Here's the thing. I am a big fan of an efficient government. And apparently, our many agencies and institutions in our government have gone rogue. So here's my advice to everybody about this. Please take everything with a grain of salt. Not everything is as bad as being made out to be, but not everything is as good as is being made out to be. People have concerns on both sides of the aisle. And here's what I'm asking everybody to do. This is going to be my soundbite moment of Mickey in the Middle this week. I'm asking you to please consider that when you post something, that you consider that there's another side to the story and that it's not as bad as you think. And that if you see something that is blatantly wrong with what is being posted, you just don't let it go, that you put back and go, you might need some more facts. Now that takes some guts. It does take some guts. Because here's what the thing is. When they say that Trump and Elon are Hitler, that is not true. Hitler killed millions and millions and millions and millions of people. He was hell-bent on genocide. He was hell-bent on taking over the world. He was hell-bent on a lot of different things. There's none of that going on in the United States of America. There's not any type of a genocide going on in America. So let's not say that. When you say that democracy is in peril, that is not true. It's not true. It's not true. We have 50 states that are individual nations. Each one of those states has an army called the National Guard. Those National Guards are run by the governors of the state. If the president of the United States calls up a governor and requests the National Guard, the governor of the state can turn the president down unless the nation is at war. And we're not warring with each other. So we have 50 individual nations, called states, right? You've heard of the state of Wisconsin, the state of Louisiana. Those are nations. That's why they have a governor, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. They're formed, most of them almost exactly like our Washington, D.C. government. And the reason is because they wanted to have continuity in all of the states, across the states, that we have a governor, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. We're not losing our democracy anytime soon. We far outnumber what's going on in Washington. And when Trump says that he's going to run for a third term, even if he's trolling, let's say that he's trolling, then it's not a concern. He's just going, blah, 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 blah. Let's say that he's not. I honestly believe that the 60% of the people in the middle would not vote for Donald Trump because they know it's against the Constitution. And then there would be legal fights that goes to the judicial branch. And the Supreme Court wouldn't let it either. So that's not going to happen. Donald Trump is not going to be president. So when people say Donald Trump is going to be president for 3 years and he wants to be a dictator, he might want to be a dictator, but he doesn't have the capability of doing that. So don't buy into the rhetoric of that. When they say that Elon Musk is the worst thing that's ever happened to us, put it in perspective. Put it in perspective. Find out what Doge is actually doing. Are they dismantling good things? Have they done some bad things? Sure. Sure, they have done some good things and they have done some bad things. But as far as the result of those things, we don't know the result of those things. I cannot find what the results are of all of those things. I hear stories, unverified stories. I hear 1 or 2 people having this, but I don't hear about it on a mass scale. So let's bring down the rhetoric a little bit. Let's look at this in the light that it's supposed to be in, which is, hey, man, everybody just relax. Don't get so political about this. There's a whole world out there that is a beautiful place. When you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, when you go to your local hardware store, your local beauty salon, when you go out to the parks, when you go out to a ball game, they're just people out there. Nobody's all caught up in the politics. So don't get bogged down in the politics of what's going on today. Read it, internalize it, do your own research, go to the original source material, write it down in a note, and then don't post it. You don't have to make a comment. If it's already on the internet, everybody's already seen it. All of the talking heads, you can watch CNN on one side, you can watch Fox on the other side. If you want to know what's going on in the world, just go talk to those. Look at CNN and then look at Fox and go, they're polar opposites, because that is true. So with that being said, I am Mickey. This is Mickey in the middle of the week, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central. Please like, share, tell all your friends about it. I am in the middle. I try to be in the middle. All of my friends on the left think I'm on the right. All my friends on the right think I'm on the left. Here's the deal is I think I'm in the right spot. Now, by the way, I am center right. Just want to let everybody know that. I'm not center. I am center right. But I am in the 60% of the people that I'm trying to talk to every single week. I'm just trying to make rational sense of the world and politics and bring it to middle America so that middle America can feel at ease that we have the greatest country in the world and that we have a great system. And even Donald Trump can't break it. Obama didn't break it. Trump didn't break it. Clinton didn't break it. Reagan didn't break it. We're all good. I promise you. We're getting through this. So, hey, a lot of love to everybody out there. This is Mickey in the middle of the week. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya. Oh, no. Bye.